one of the more neglected areas on a Jeep, and yet it's one of the more abused areas of a Jeep, is the undercarriage. The undercarriage of the Jeep goes through the mud, scrapes over the rocks, scrapes over the trees, whatever it has to do, and it creates rust and troubles and problems that we need to take care of. So on this episode, we're going to do a little preventive maintenance on the undercarriage of the Jeep. Stay tuned. Well, we're continuing on with this undercarriage PM maintenance. We're going to start at the back and then move forward, catching all the rust we can as we go and painting as we go. Suggestion you do that, do a section, paint, move to the next section, because it only takes a day for the rust you just cleaned off to start coming back again with any kind of moisture around or whatever. So without further ado, let's get at it and start getting rid of some rust. Well, as you can see under here, hopefully you can see it relatively clearly, we've got a wet transmission box here. Pretty sure it's coming out of the pan. Not positive though. It's supposed to have that transmission fluid changed in the last service station I put it in. We've got a little bit of grease and things on the oil pan, and up underneath the motor we'll be putting some solvent on that. You can see the frame repair is raw metal, and it's time to get on it. It's just got a little surface rust that'll come off there real easy. Then we'll get it painted. But up front, further up front, around the axles and things like that, is just old-fashioned rust. And we're going to be knocking at that the best we can, and putting some rust converter on it after we wire brushed it down and cleaned it as best as possible, and painting it over and trying to stop the rust. Here you can see some of the green coating from inside the frame that we put in earlier. And as we go up the frame now and dig into the holes, we find that that stuff is all coated inside there. So it's very good. Well, let's get started on cleaning some of this off. Okay, as you can hear, we're going to start pressure spraying. Actually pressure spraying with Dawn soap to kind of cut the grease, cut the oil where we put that spray on before. We're going to clean this off before we go and do any rinsing and final cleaning and possibly painting also. We need to get some of this dirt off of here. We're carrying around an extra 10 pounds or so of unnecessary weight just by what's in this pan. Over the years, accumulating oil leaks, dirt, oil leak on top of the dirt, dirt on top of the oil leak, and thick trouble. So we're going to clean this off, and we'll get back to you when we get down to a final look at this pan that holds the transmission up really, and also goes across as almost a shield at the bottom of the frame. So you'll want to take a look at that on your vehicle too. I can't believe how deep this dirt is. This thing weighs a ton. I'll bet when I'm finished cleaning it here, it'll weigh a lot less. Well, let's get her done. A lot of cleaning off of grease and junk like that. That belly pan transmission brace was so full of mud and dirt and sand and oil. It was amazing. I had to drag it down to where I worked on it, but I carried it back. That's how much weight difference there was. So, you know, I'm sure that a lot of Jeeps are carrying around a lot of unnecessary weight. Everything is wet now. It's been degreased, it's been washed, kind of waiting for it to dry. This isn't a very good day for drying right now. It's supposed to rain here in just a little bit, so I'm going to wrap up. There is something therapeutic about working on these Jeeps, and by working on your Jeep and doing PM stuff in particular, you're learning that machine, learning that Jeep, learning where everything is and learning what fits where. And when you're on the trail, that's invaluable information and can make a big difference. Little things, like right there, that bumper for that spring. I've got one ordered now. And little stuff like that can be taken care of when you spend some time in the belly of the beast, underneath your vehicle, in the undercarriage. And that's what we're working on in this episode, is PMing the undercarriage of the vehicle. Yeah.
I have an idea.
Okay. Well, just in the short time that we've been waiting to get all this done, rust has already developed on this new weld, new metal. So we're going to get some of that rust off and then prime it and paint it also. It's important to get all the loose stuff off, and I use acetate. It's a good product to clean stuff just before painting. Just to get it clean. It dries quickly, so go back on and start painting pretty quickly. Trying to get a little paint on the top of this frame. I'm going to cause some running over the sides. I guess it really doesn't matter if it runs a little bit because I'm not entering it in a car show. Just trying to preserve it so I have it longer on the field. But you know, I still like to be particular best we can. So take care of some of those runs and then start to apply it in a normal fashion. Light coats, several light coats. One of the pieces of the undercarriage, of course, is this. It's kind of a skid plate. It's a transmission brace. It's a belly pan underneath your Jeep TJ, and this one was cleaned, painted, and is going to be put back in today. So let's get at it. Let's put this thing back where it belongs, so we can get back on the road. Time to get this belly pan back up, and there's no easy way to do this except to get underneath it and begin to raise it up. Don't pull your way.
I'm not pulling, I'm just holding.
These 4 bolts out. Then the back of the Jeep, we're probably 3/4 of the way or more forward. Now it's time to get around the front. A lot of dirt up here, a lot of rust on the axle parts and things like that. But first we have to degrease before we can de-rust. And so now we've got to apply some solvents, some cleaning solvents and different things to get this rust off, the grease off this spring. all these things. And so I think you get the idea of what undercarriage PM and maintenance is really all about. We've gone through a lot of stuff. I want to just close with this, some general ideas. It's good to get under your Jeep on a pretty regular basis. Not only did I was able to clean and de-rust and paint and all that stuff, but I was also able to investigate a few other things. I found that my U-joint has a little bit of play, not sufficient to really change it yet, but sufficient enough that I picked up 2 U-joints to keep with me, and to knowing I've got to change those sooner or later. All 4 of my suspension bumpers are rotted and gone, ordered new ones in for those. All sorts of things underneath that you can keep up on, prepare for, and keep your Jeep running the way it needs to run. PM the under chassis of your Jeep on a regular basis. I hope this was instructional for you. I hope it was encouraging for you. Every Jeep's a little different, so you'll find different things under yours than I found under mine. But now we can move to the more fun stuff, like putting bumpers on, and winches, and roof racks, and things like that. We'll be doing that in the upcoming episodes. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, be a subscriber. Join the mission with me. We're going to have a great time as we move forward.